Rob, what a collection of footballers and managers behind you here in Croke Park. It's a lovely morning to be here. It's December, but it's a lovely morning and great to have you involved again.
Yeah, look, we're absolutely delighted. Been involved since 2017, and as you said, we're blessed with the weather this morning. You wouldn't think it was December here in Croke Park. So yeah, absolutely delighted.
8 years, that's incredible. And the big screen has it up there, hashtag first class rivals. I mean, you're part of the furniture now.
We certainly are. I mean, first class rivals, it's a really good campaign. I think it probably encompasses what HEC is all about. And, you know, rivals coming together, traditional rivals, county rivals coming together to play for their college teams. So it's a really unique competition that we're delighted to be part of.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, I'm talking to the lads this morning, and some of them, even last week we did a game and there was lads from the same club playing against each other, you know, so there's a lovely spirit at that level. Now they're competitive, but it sums it up perfectly.
Yeah, it really does. And I mean, you know, we did some creative out of home last year where we kind of showcased those rivals coming together. And there's just a great spirit. You know, there's alliances that are being formed that, as we said, wouldn't normally exist in the format. I think, you know, for the overall competition, bringing the new rules, the new football rules coming in this year is going to bring another string to the bow of what is already a really exciting competition.
And what are your thoughts about the championships after Christmas then and being involved, and what is it going to do for you guys?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really important for us. You know, Electric Ireland serves over 1 million customers right around the island of Ireland. And it's, so, you know, having a competition like this and being able to actually reach out and be part of kind of the GAA in local communities and right up to a national level is really important for us.
Rob, what a collection of footballers and managers behind you here in Croke Park. It's a lovely morning to be here. It's December, but it's a lovely morning and great to have you involved again.
Yeah, look, we're absolutely delighted. Been involved since 2017, and as you said, we're blessed with the weather this morning. You wouldn't think it was December here in Croke Park. So yeah, absolutely delighted.
8 years, that's incredible. And the big screen has it up there, hashtag first class rivals. I mean, you're part of the furniture now.
We certainly are. I mean, first class rivals, it's a really good campaign. I think it probably encompasses what HEC is all about. And, you know, rivals coming together, traditional rivals, county rivals coming together to play for their college teams. So it's a really unique competition that we're delighted to be part of.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, I'm talking to the lads this morning, and some of them, even last week we did a game and there was lads from the same club playing against each other, you know, so there's a lovely spirit at that level. Now they're competitive, but it sums it up perfectly.
Yeah, it really does. And I mean, you know, we did some creative out of home last year where we kind of showcased those rivals coming together. And there's just a great spirit. You know, there's alliances that are being formed that, as we said, wouldn't normally exist in the format. I think, you know, for the overall competition, bringing the new rules, the new football rules coming in this year is going to bring another string to the bow of what is already a really exciting competition.
And what are your thoughts about the championships after Christmas then and being involved, and what is it going to do for you guys?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really important for us. You know, Electric Ireland serves over 1 million customers right around the island of Ireland. And it's, so, you know, having a competition like this and being able to actually reach out and be part of kind of the GAA in local communities and right up to a national level is really important for us.
And welcome to the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup Round 2A game here at DCU. It's chilly, but you know it's going to be chilly. It's January. And we are at the home of DCU Sport. It's hashtag first class rivals, and it is DCU, the winners of the Sigerson Cup as it is last year. So they're the holders, and they're up against the league winners from November. So league against championship winners in this big game here today. DCU and their familiar yellow and at home today, of course. And there's the manager out with the referee, Sean Fox, there talking to Conor Dineen, the referee from Cavan, in the middle, having a word with him. He told me a minute ago, Sean, that there's one change for DCU, and that is a Cavan man, by the way, is in the team. No coincidence there at all. Well, it is a coincidence, but nothing meant by it. He's from Ballyhaise. That's Evan Crowe, number 20, who's in at number 2 for DCU. So that is Sean Fox, the manager at DCU out there, and they had a great win last week up at Burren in County Down against Ulster University, who will admit themselves they were disappointing. Tonight it is UL in opposition. They won the league before Christmas, their first ever league, and they've never won the Sigerson, so they are going for a year of firsts. And of course the hurlers from UL we know all about over the last few years have been absolutely fantastic. Of course, I wonder would a historic double be a possibility this year. Their manager is David Power. He told me after the game last week he loves the new rules. Coaching, he says, is enjoyable again, so lovely to hear that. And it's the first time the new rules have been used at colleges, of course, because last year at the start of the year they opted to stay with the old rules because they'd started their season with them, but this is the first year with them. So it's UL with 7 Mayo starters. So I haven't heard about any changes. 2 other games on tonight, by the way, just to give you a quick update on them before we go any further. TUD against MTU Kerry started at 7 o'clock. Half time is TUD 3-9, MTU Kerry 1-8. So a good lead there, 7-point lead for TUD down the road from here. And that game will be over, obviously, what is it now, 5-2, maybe in about 15 minutes. We'll get you that. And UCD are playing Maynooth, and it started at 7:30, so they are 25 minutes in. The update I have is UCD 2-4, Maynooth 1-3. I should have wrote that out properly. I was going to say Mayo. So UCD and TUD leading the 2 Dublin colleges, and another one here, DCU, up against UL. And they'll be favourites here tonight. Let me bring in Luke Allen and put that to him as a man who's studied at both colleges. DCU the favourites tonight?
I think you'd have to say so. Jerome, they're defending champions, and after that incredibly impressive display in round 1, defeating the champions of the previous year, Ulster University, to be a force to be reckoned with. But UL, as you mentioned, the league champions, so full of confidence and haven't lost a competitive game yet this year, so it should be a good contest.
Yeah, it's a huge test for them, absolutely huge, this game here tonight for UL. We'll see what they're like. Last week, I have to be honest, I'm sure you were watching, maybe or saw back, I wasn't hugely impressed by UL. Now in the first half they probably were slightly the better team, but you know, they led MTU Cork right back into it in the penalty before half time, but they didn't take their chances in the first half. They had very impressive second half, they did then, but they can't do that tonight.
No, absolutely, and like DCU scoring in flurries in the second half of the last game, especially. They were playing into the wind, wasn't it? And were incredibly impressive in 15 minutes. You can't go to sleep for any period of time in the Sigerson Cup, especially against defending champions DCU. So, yeah, looking for an improvement. The second half, as you mentioned last week, John, was much stronger. But yeah, getting out of the traps tonight will be very important.
Yeah, DCU will go at them. That's what they did last week against Dulce University, and I mean from out of the traps, because the ball was thrown in and Greg McEnany came storming through the midfield. It was like a tactic they had, and of course, you have Ethan Dunn in the middle of the field, and those two lads know each other from college and from club as well. That can help. Now, let's look at the teams then. Let's go to them. They're basically the same as last week, apart from that one change, and we haven't heard of any from UL.
There actually is one.
Oh, you have one? Good man, you've got one. Look,
Cathal Brosnan is in. Cathal Brosnan wearing 29 is in for Hugh O'Loughlin in midfield. Other than that, UL are his programme. Just got a text there. So.
We're looking at DCU, so we'll come to that in a second. But for DCU here, Evan Crowe is in at he's wearing 20 in for number 2. Other than that, the same as last week. And now the boys I'll pick out, player of the match last week, well, we give it to Lorcan O'Dell. Could easily have been Jack Tumulty. He was absolutely on fire. He's electric. And Lorcan O'Dell, amazing pace as well. But the whole team seemed so motivated right through. And of course, you don't always expect that for a team who's won the Sigerson once. And we were even talking last week on the co-commentary about that. Is a team really up for it the second year? This team really, really was last week. Maybe Ulster University just had a really bad day at the office, but these guys were terrific. And then they'd subs that come on. Niall Dolan came on, Luke Marin came on and got 1-1. They were very, very impressive in that game. And then Senan Carr came on as well. He's a lad from Four Masters in Donegal, and he is pacey as well. So loads of pace there. Let's look at UL then, and I'm going to you're the PRO for UL GAA, so you should know this. So you tell me the changes.
Just the only change is Hugh O'Loughlin. He's named at midfield number 9. So coming in for him is Kerryman Cathal Brosnan. He got a couple of runs in the McGrath Cup, or certainly McGrath Cup panels with Jack O'Connor. And he's a very strong player, very athletic player. Plays anywhere around that middle 8, but he's lying out at midfield this evening.
Do you think he'll go straight in there then?
I'd probably play. I'd say maybe at wing forward if I was to guess, but either 9 or 12 where he'd play. Other than that, it's fairly as named. Jack Melvin, I would expect to come out around the middle of the park. Actually, Jack's around 13, named corner forward, but has played in the middle of the park.
Just looking around the team and considering when they won the league and that, and the likes of Frank Irwin and that, I'm thinking I shouldn't be playing them down maybe as sort of weak favourites or weak underdogs. I shouldn't be doing that at all. They're a very good team. Sean Morahan at centre half back, terrific players, and Brian McNamara in the middle of the field there, the captain, super leader, and Jack McCabe's a leader at number 11 too. Yeah,
you mentioned Sean Morahan and Brian McNamara. They've probably been the two most impressive in the league campaign, I would say. Played well on last Wednesday night, but the league campaign especially good. Sean Moran is really good at making bursts up the field. He's an excellent defender, has marked some of the tougher opponents. Expect him to be marking Lorcan O'Dell to start off with this evening anyway, but he can also make a difference going forward.
That's a match-up. Now you mention it, absolutely. And when you talk about him going forward, Sean, he did that in the league final. Was it the first minute of the second half? Stormed through and got a very important goal. So they'll be watching that. DCU will have watched that. They'll have done their homework. And I suppose maybe it's a bad thing sometimes to do so well in your first game, as to say, I don't know what Ulster University were, if that was the real Ulster University team or not. But DCU were so impressive. But you were thinking, my goodness, this is a sort of a peak. Can you keep this up throughout the competition? That will be one of the questions that will be answered here tonight. But they have home advantage, which I think is important. And it's a very cool night, but no rain, no wind to talk about at all. So we're looking forward to a terrific game. I hope you enjoy it wherever you are as well, because there'll be nothing to distract us in those sort of terms. It is DCU getting possession right away. It's not Greg McEnany rushing through the middle, the number 6, but they still get possession and get it out here to Dara Joyce. He's from Clare Morris. He's Mayo, so up against 7 Mayo lads on the other side. Well, actually Hugh O'Loughlin's out, so 6 Mayo lads starting for UL here tonight, and a few Mayo men for DCU. Well, a 1 anyway from Clare Morris. Let's look at the replay there of the challenge there, and that was Lorcan O'Dell using his pace to give it to Dara Joyce, who started that, and then at the end of all that, it is a free in. And this will be, is it Senan Baker? Is it 14?
Is,
yeah, from Colry in Westmeath, gets the first score on the board after 48 seconds. As I say, the referee Conor Deneen from Cavan. Fourth official is Brian Brady from Louth. And on the line, Kevin Brady from Louth and Adam Doyle, who's a dub. I wonder are those two Brady's brothers from Louth, or was that just a coincidence? I meant to check that up, but I didn't get right to it. That's a poor kick out. He obviously didn't mean to put it straight up the middle and straight into the arms of Owen Ward. And Owen Ward wearing Roscommon colours, and he's from Roscommon, so he'd be comfortable there. And that's at a second point for him. It should be from play, and Senan Baker punishes UL. And look, that's exactly what we're talking about. UL cannot afford to be sloppy like that against this team. They get punished.
Not this evening, Chris O'Callaghan usually so reliable on the kickouts. He had an overload on this side, just miskicked it and ended up finding, I think it was on Ward. He's gone short again now, so undeterred.
Yeah, and a big game like this, yes, they've been winning, but this is a huge test for them against this DCU team. They'll have seen them last week, and they really need to be on their game here tonight. Next round, of course, quarter-finals, so they've done really well so far, and it was a good win last week at MTU Cork for UL. But this one tonight is big, and that's a great ball in and beautifully taken as well, and it's got as far as Jack McCabe, the number 11. That's the man I was telling you about before the game, and this is Cian McHale. Now, oh, what a brilliant block down there. He was going for it, but fantastic block, and it was actually the number 4, Brian Masterson. What a block there. That's an absolutely stunning block. He saw him going for it and threw himself at it. We had great blocks in the game last week from DCU. There were a couple late in the game that were absolutely outstanding, and that's another one. That's terrific. This is Lorcan O'Dell stretching the UL defence over to the left corner, and then you have that run off the man who brought some width to it and puts it over the bar, and that's one of those ones that has been well rehearsed. You see him giving width there, Dara Swords, and then making the run in on his right foot, and that's perfectly executed. Good score. But, you know, all credit to the block. I'll bring Luke in on that in a second, but let's follow the play because the ball's back in play, and UL struggling to get a foothold here, but they've got a decision. They've got that one, but yeah, great block at that end, wasn't it?
Oh, it was excellent, because brilliant direct ball in issue from Jack Melvin, who is operating out there in the middle of the park, and Jack McCabe just saw him lining it up, timed it to perfection.
And there's another ball there, looking for that direct ball in there twice, but it didn't work on that occasion. Easily swept up, and the forward for UL still down actually. He took a bit of a whack there, but DCU will carry on, and it's Greg McEnany. Sounds like a Monaghan name, but he's very much from Skerry's Harps. Lorcan O'Dell, he's from Temple Oak, Singe Street. It's his club. Going on with the play with Dara Joyce, and just lancing around the UL man still on the ground. Getting a wee bit of treatment there. So a hefty enough challenge, whatever it was. This is McEnany turning his man, but not getting past him. I think that's Cathal Ryan holding him up, but here comes the other number 12, that's Dara Swords. No, it's not, it's a 15 actually, and it's Jack Tumulty, of course. Well, last week, don't know if you saw last week, Luke, he scored 4 in the first half, first from play and the next, or from a kick, and the next 3 all fisted.
I was going to say he was one of the standout forwards last week, and I gave the man the match to Lorcan O'Dell.
Could have went to him.
Yeah,
you know.
Jack was equally as good, I thought, last week. And yeah, Sean is steady there, and that's already 3 DCU forwards on the score sheet and a 4-point lead.
I think last week it was more the case that Lorcan O'Dell, we sort of felt between us, he was more involved centrally in a lot of the stuff in the second half when it really turned the game, and his pace and what he set up and the points he scored, you know. But yeah, Jack scored 1-4, but I suppose corner forwards are maybe a bit of disadvantage there. Right. They're way out in the corner, but those, you know, 4 points in the first half were outstanding too. So yeah, you could have argued either way.
Essential to everything that they're doing this evening. Lorcan O'Dell has gone on such amount of balls so far. He's dictating the play in there at the moment.
Exactly, yeah. Last year he was sort of a fringe player. I don't know whether it was injuries or what. I remember him coming on in a game here and getting a goal in the second half, but this year he's very much the main man for DCU. UL now looking to try and get up the field here. They find themselves 4 points down already, and it doesn't feel like that, but DCU have been clinical when they got forward, and they had that block at the other end to stop UL. Now there's a chance he's drifted in behind here. That's good play by Jack Melvin, the man you were saying, and there's the full forward McHale going for it, and they get a score. Now they've ended up with 2 men on the ground. DCU did not let you through easily at all. You get a score, but at a cost there. Look,
it was Tommy Welch. Yeah, he's playing at wing back. I think Paddy O'Driscoll's playing inside. Just saw the tackle coming, couldn't get out of the way in time, so he got a bit of a dunt, didn't he?
Sure did, absolutely. But McHale did well, and there was a push on him at the end there. Did see one like that last week where, don't see it too often, but a referee saw the push there and give the free in. Usually they sort of, well, you got your kick away, but he didn't need it there because he got a score. But that'll do UL a lot of good there just to get that score, but they are going to have to work very, very hard to get them. Now the goalkeeper is Mike Tansley from Austin Stacks, the Kerry man, looking for Ethan Dunn, of course. And UL clever enough to break it around the big man there, and it's worked out for them, but Ethan Dunn puts his man over the line. That's Conal Dawson.
He's given a free.
He has, yeah, he's got the decision, yeah. thought it was fair enough.
Yeah.
Dunk myself, to use your word, but I thought he connected fairly well with the shoulder. But a free given nonetheless. Now, this is McHale who got the score a minute ago, and there's the run off the shoulder. That's really good play for the fullback coming up, and that's Tommy Ross looking to get a score there, and that looks pretty good to me. And is it a 2-pointer? No,
just inside.
Just inside.
Jack Melvin coming around in the loop there from Tommy Ross.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah, I was watching from play now. I'm watching it on the monitor, definitely. But a good score and really good for UL to get those 2 back.
Yeah, Tommy Ross is another man who can surge forward, he can defend, he's really good full back and inside back and marking tough opponents, but he has a great burst of pace as we saw there and joined the attack, and he set up the one
from the
Frank.
Curry Club in Sligo.
For Jack, I should say.
Yeah, DCU get it short from the kick out, so varying it a little bit and now getting it to McEnany. But good pressing from UL to try and get the ball off him, and I think they have got it off him. That was really good. It was Charlie King, I think. It was number 7. Yeah, he was the man right up there pressing and got the ball off DCU. Well, you know what? When it went to 4-0, I was starting to think, oh, this could be very one-sided. But they come right back and do it, and they're giving DCU a lot to think about. They've pinned them right back. They've won that back. They've got 2 points. They'd 1 block down, and here's that ball coming in again. It's blocked down as well, though. And who was it?
It was Conal Dawson. He got one of them last week.
Yeah.
He's winding up again.
They've blocked him again. That's super play. But hold on, UL up. They're giving as good as they get here, and it's the fullback again, Tommy Ross, playing in a very advanced position. But look how quick DCU defenders are in there. And it was their fullback. It was Liam Kelly, the Meath man from Ratoath there, who saw that and jumped in there. You love to see, well, managers I'm sure love to see defenders. You just love defending and getting in there and just winning balls like that there. There's a ball over the top over by the scoreboard for DCU, and will they get a score at the end of it? They got a score from the last block, and that one popped, and that's a tricky one, but the keeper watched it really well. Tansley, big tall fella in there, no bother at all to him. I actually saw a video on TikTok today, and it was Tony Adams, the Arsenal defender, and they were saying that back in the day he just loved defending, you know. And these DCU boys look a bit like that too. It's like if they get in there and win a challenge, you know, that's as good as getting a score for them. And you want that from your defenders.
I've seen that with Liam Kelly and Brian Maston now with 2 diving blocks. It says it's entertaining to watch sometimes. That's a great score.
I'm thinking, are they delighted that I'm mentioning and comparing them to Tony Adams, or are they going, who's Tony Adams?
I think they might be going, who? Throw.
Yeah, well, I'm showing my age. Or they're showing their age. That's Dawson, the Westport man, getting them going. This is much better. I'm really impressed by them here. Tommy Walsh, Cork man. As I say, a lot of Mayo men, but Cork men, Mayo men, Clare men, the captain, and that's over the top. They might even get a goal here. He's poked it over there, but Brian Masterson was in the right place, and they still get it back. This is absolutely superb, and it's McHale. Is this going over? Yes, off the post. Brilliant score. He deserved that. You were willing that one to go over, because he won it back absolutely brilliantly there. And look, I'm not just saying that because you're UL, but I'm really, really impressed by the way they've come back into this here.
All desire. From first Tommy Walsh to get his toe to that one, to lift it over the goalkeepers, and lucky not to go all the way into the net. And then Cian McHale dispossessing the defender, earning his own score. Brilliant play. Second point of the game for him as well. So he had to come right back into it.
Yeah, in a really impressive fashion. And DCU from 4-0 now to 4-3 after nearly 10 minutes. 7 scores, no 2-pointers, but 7 good scores, and only 1 of them, I think, from a free. So really good to see. And as I was saying, David Parr, the manager of UL, he was with Tip before, was telling me it's a pleasure to be coaching under the new rules. He says coaching is enjoyable again. And it's not often you see or hear coaches saying that. They're a little bit grudgingly over the last year, sort of giving a bit of credit to it. You know, they're having to work out what other way they can manipulate the new rules. But it was just refreshing for him to come out and say, you know what, it's great. This is Dara Joyce. Midfield, he keeps coming down that left-hand side. This is Ethan Dunn, the 2 midfielders involved. Now he topples, but it's not a free. And UL will be happy the way they've settled defensively as much as anything else. And there's that ball out of defence. They're not afraid to kick past it up there and see where they can get. Was that on the ground, or the referee says it's not? And I don't think it was either, but that ball has gone straight to Greg McEnany, so they might get punished here.
Free man inside.
They have a free man, and if he's not looking for him. Plays it down the wing instead, down to the left here to Jack Tumulty from Padraig Pierce's in Roscommon. This is well worked. This is Tumulty again trying to get on it. He's so nippy. He loves a change of direction, but he's just going for the score here, and I think he's got it, you know. Well, that was persistence paying off there for Tumulty, and that's their first score in a while, and makes it 5 points to 3 and a good score.
really excellent score, good patience, and Lorcan O'Dell is just always linking the play there. Always looks like he could make a burst through the defence, but just patiently and laying it off to his teammates. He's making them tick.
Here, this is interesting. At half time, I told you UCD were leading Maynooth 2-4 to 1-3. At half time, Maynooth have come back and they're leading 2-8 to 2-6. That's an interesting one over at Belfield. So they've come back and gone into the lead there, Maynooth. Now, they do have a lot of excellent players at Maynooth, so maybe not that big a surprise as such. Haven't got one on latest score in the other game, but let's follow this one here because there's a ball in. The keeper does well, Tansley, to come out to meet it. And is he going to get rid of it?
There's a bad collision there, is there?
Yeah, but they've managed to sort it out. And he's still going. Now they're calling for pressure on him, but they're sort of standing off him there. I can understand why they're calling for pressure, and they've managed to get it out of there. Again, UL doing well. But hold on, he's been dispossessed there rather easily, and a free indeed for DCU as well, which is taken quickly by Conor Heffernan to O'Dell. As you say, he's always available and always lively, doing everything at pace. He didn't connect the first time. Second time, it's not a great ball. So DCU, after that good start early on, going into a 4-0 lead, I have to say they've lost their way a wee bit. They're not as fluent as they have been, but then last week they were only leading 6-3 at half time, and they should have been a lot further ahead. And then the second half, they get 3 goals and a lot of points, about 3-7 in a blistering 15 minutes. This is a good counter-attack, but a poor effort at the end of it into the keeper's arms. You could hear the groans around the UL bench here. At that, you don't like putting in all that effort, a turnover and getting it all the way up the field and then hitting an easy one into the keeper's arms. That was a poor enough effort, to be fair.
This is Charlie King.
Yeah.
Covers every blade of grass. With the back defending there a moment ago. And
he's everywhere. The number 7 you're talking about. The tip man from Ballina for UL. Yeah, he's everywhere. He was up. It was him did the press earlier on.
And he got a mark the last day in the corner forward position against MTU Cork. He's got a great engine.
Was it him who put it into the keeper's arms?
That was just there, yeah.
I was trying not to name him. I didn't want to shame him, you know. And you,
sorry, Charlie.
You did it. There's Lorcan O'Dell coming speeding down again, always ready to take the ball and go at them. And he is going at them. This is terrific again. There's 2-3 men there, but as it broken down, it has. In fact, he's overcarried. So UL will be happy with that. 13, nearly 14 minutes gone. 5 points to 3 for UL, or for DCU.
That'd be good for Sean Morahan's confidence. He's really tough assignment marking Lorcan. I thought Lorcan was unfortunate there to be done for steps. There was 2 UL defenders either side of him, and looked like he was fouled, but
yes,
the referee disagreed.
There's UL in possession now, trying to get beyond halfway. But again, that turnover, which they did over this side a minute ago, but this time it's illegal. And there's the 29, Cathal Brosnan, and you see in the shot there, looking to get in to this move, but doesn't. It goes the other direction instead, but now it might be coming back. Is that Melvin again? And he's looking for that ball. They pop over the top. That's a super ball over the top. Really well played. And there's a 2-on-1 here. Will he be happy with the point? He goes for goal. Oh, he's put it wide. Oh, what an opportunity that was. Let's have a look at it again. Look, let's see this. And was it the right option? I think it was the right option to go for it. Just the wrong side of the post.
Yeah, he just found himself in unfamiliar territory, and Dempsey's cornerback, really strong cornerback, and just left completely unmarked by DCU. Right ball, and went for the bottom left-hand corner, just couldn't apply the finish. Led off for DCU.
Yeah, Ben Dempsey from Portlaoise. As you say, he's not used to being up there, but he drifted in behind, and that's what UL have been doing quite a lot. So warning signs there for DCU. This is Dara Swords for them. Kildareman tries to give it inside and just about gets it to Owen O'Connor Flanagan. Back to Swords. And they've been trying to find their range, but they haven't. You know, apart from, you know, that 4 points was about in the first 6 or 7 minutes. And in the last 10 minutes, I'm going to say, nearly, they've only scored once. This is Dara Joyce again, involved a lot. Senan Baker there too. And yeah, UL doing really well. Their structure's sort of keeping really firm. And then again, getting in behind there, they've really sort of worked this out really well. You know, they have their setup in there and they're all marking their areas and they're keeping them out and getting dispossessions and interceptions. And now they're on the transition as well. Now, will they be a bit more cautious here? Oh, it's a terrific ball. What a pass that is. Straight into the chest. Superb and laid off as well by Jack McCabe. but it breaks down. Oh, and hold on. Oh, that had to reach him there. He was in space there, but it might go over the line. And, really good approach play. And I love the balls into the full forward line, but they've wasted a few opportunities here.
Yeah, they credit two really good opportunities. And here's a poor kick
out.
out.
Hold on. They've got it. Conal Dawson has got it from the kick out. Serious pressure by Masterson, but too serious. You were saying?
I was just saying, you had that's Brian Masson gone in the referee's book there. Was a cynical enough challenge, just grabbing Conal Dawson to try and stop a goal. Probably still take the yellow as a cornerback, but that's two really good balls in. Jack McCabe was in the target on both occasions, and he's won it well. Just that pass has let them down. Either the man coming onto the ball or the passer hasn't quite gone to chest. But the counter-attack is really strong.
They drop one into the keeper's arms. They've missed a goal. That was definitely a chance there. Arguably they should be ahead on the way the game has gone. Certainly, if you take away the first 5 minutes when DCU got the 4 points, have been better since then. Now, is he gone outside the arc, or is he just
giving it from where the ball landed, which was inside the arc?
He's going inside. He's stepping inside. Yeah, has he got it? I think he has. Yeah, really well done and well measured, and that's 5-4 after 17 minutes. And you could argue Brian Masterson was punished there with a yellow and a point.
Yeah, it could have been a 2-pointer.
Yeah,
we're getting greedy here.
It could have been. Well, they could actually get through for a goal there as well.
But Keane McCabe's had a great start at his first 3 of the game. He's already kicked 2 from play.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about it, that first score was important. It gave them a bit of confidence, and they've been doing really well since then. Not overawed in any sort of a way at all, but coming up against the Sigerson champions, as I say, after DCU were so impressive last week. They've just gone about their business, and they look like a team that's won all of their games. They did win all their games in the league and winning it. Now, most of them were at home, yes, but they beat people like UCC, they beat Ulster University in the semi-final, and they beat Galway in the final as well. So they've taken some big scalps, so they shouldn't be underestimating themselves in any way at all, and they're playing like a team that is used to winning. Now that's Greg McEnany, that's beautifully done, but he's very unlucky. He stepped in there perfectly, but it was one of those ones, the ball was up there and you thought it was going to curl in, and it just curled the other way.
Yeah, it's got underneath it a little bit, but he's looking to stamp his 30 on the game. Haven't seen a huge amount of him on the ball. He's done great defensive work so far. Has Greg?
Yeah, he's a good player. So it is 5 points to 4 after 18 minutes now. And the goalkeeper is Tristan O'Callaghan from St Brecons in Clare, and that's beautifully taken. And who's that?
Another Clare man, Brian McNamara.
It was, of course, Brian McNamara. And the referee, now why didn't he let him go there and take the solo and go? And that's what Brian's saying to him. I'm not quite sure why. Yeah.
Just touched after his mark.
But the whole idea is that you're supposed to be able to go. It must have been something else there. I'm not quite sure what it was. I don't want to criticise the referee. I'm sure there was a reason for that. But UL still have possession from that terrific catch. Oh, he's way out. Now, he's put that really high. Is it on target? If he has got it, that's a super score, and I think it's going to be... Oh, it's a 2-pointer as well from way out on the wing. That's a brilliant score. And it puts UL into the lead for the first time in the game. And it was
Conal Dawson.
It was Conal Dawson from Westport and Mayo. He's a Mayo senior, and no wonder. Well, UL really are putting it up to DCU.
Really good game awareness there from Conal Dawson, because there was an advantage. The referee's hand was up, so he had a free shot at goal with a 2-pointer, and he can execute them. We saw that last week, and excellent score.
He put it really high, didn't he? I mean, the last ball that went in there low to the keeper, he just didn't connect, but that was fantastic. Now, I've got a full time in from the TU Dublin game down the road. TU Dublin have won. TU Dublin 321, MTU Kerry 210. So a big win there. So that's one Dublin team through to the quarterfinals. UCD losing at half-time against Maynooth in a game that started at 7:30. That's McHale, and that is magnificent. Well, UL now are really turning on the style. The league champions coming up against the Sigerson holders in their own backyard are giving them quite a game here, and they give them a 4-point lead, but now they lead by 7 points to 5. That was a brilliant score.
Actually, just showing his class, King McHale. Such a cultured left foot. We only said that about left footers, but
yeah.
What a score nonetheless.
Yeah, we
he
talk
has such
about
a nice style.
They talk about languid left foots as well. Maybe it's because Brian McNamara came with a magnificent catch. He's coming into this game absolutely brilliantly. He's leading from the front, the captain of UL. That was absolutely brilliant. From Cura Clare in Clare, brilliant play by him. That's 2 catches in a couple of minutes, and the team are really benefiting. If that one goes over, I thought it was to the left. It's not. It's over the bar as well. Oh,
Frank Irwin.
Goodness, Frank Irwin, another Mayo man. Wow. And was he outside? He was. He knew what he was doing there. And they tried to get to him there. Their blocks have been good, but if you notice the last 2 scores, they haven't been able to get them blocked down at all. That is brilliant. 9 points to 5. Hey, look, this UL team, I'm beginning to believe.
It's a real purple passion now for UL. Just got to keep the pressure on DCU's kick out. DCU, by their standards, need to get a hand on the ball here.
Isn't it amazing? I was saying last week about, DCU, how brilliant they were. I was saying before the game, you can't get better than their performance last week, but there's only one way to go after that, and UL have gone right at them and might even get another one here, and they have, and that was fantastic. And it was Carl Ryan from Rathmore and Kerry down there on the Cork border, but very definitely Kerry, and he's at college in Limerick, and he's put over a brilliant score. Again, DCU getting close, but they just can't stop them. They're absolutely on fire at the minute.
Yeah, 4 scores in a row, 2 of them 2-pointers as well, to give it that 6-point advantage, or 5-point advantage, say 6-point turnaround. And Carl Ryan has such class, and DCU, as I said, really need to get this kick out and just slow the game down a little bit, stem this momentum.
Isn't it amazing, really, at college level? As I say, you get a team like DCU and they look like, who's going to stop them? What's the point? Someone was even online saying last week, is there any point? Or no, they were talking about UL hurlers, and now I think about it, but they were saying similar-ish things about DCU after last week. But my goodness, UL have just taken them apart in the last 15 minutes here. Well, that might be a bit strong, but you know what I mean. They've gone at them, they've stopped them, and they've only let them have 1 point since about the 6th or 7th minute of the game.
4 points to no score at one stage.
Yeah, after about 6 minutes, so they've only scored 1 point since then.
They're a team full of quality players, and here's one of them on the ball.
Yeah, and UL in that time, they've had a sensational last 6 or 7 minutes, taking scores from everywhere, and DCU need to respond, and now they might. It's a really bad angle, and he's missed it as well. You see, they've reduced to kicking from really bad angles now. They've really put the pressure on DCU. Yeah. Big questions for I was saying before the game is a huge test for UL. Well, they've come through that test so far, and it's DCU now have the questions about them. But they've won this back, and I think that's Dara Swords. It might be over there, or was it the number 10? Was it Connor Hefner? It was Swords, and now they're trying to get down that right. But they just can't get close, and UL doing really well to keep them sort of outside the scoring zone, and if they get close at all, they seem to get a hand in or put enough pressure on them. They've really stuck to the game and weren't fazed at all by the first 4 points. Now that might even be given away. Oh, that has been given away, or they've won it back, and it's McHale again. He's been terrific, and that's another foul, and that's Masterson again, who has been booked, and he better not misbehave, because he could be put off, and McHale wants to take it quickly. Oh, DCU's caught sleeping. Surely they had enough time to react there, and they haven't, and it's McNamara. The Claremont goes for pick that one out. What a goal from the captain. That is absolutely brilliant, and UL are taking the Sigerson defending champions apart here in the last 10 minutes of this game. They've gone from 4-0 to 110 to 5, and that was a sensational goal, and it was Mayo and Clare combining, and you just knew the captain, the leader of this team, was going to bury it.
What a finish, Jerome. When we talk about his class in the middle of the park with his fielding, he can finish the ball as well to net, but that goal was made from Keane McHale's quick thinking, won the ball back, spotted a mistake from the DCU players, took the free quickly into, I think it was Frank Éireann, laid it off. What a score for UL.
Oh, and another brilliant field. My goodness, this is sensational stuff from UL. Absolutely sensational. At this rate, people will be going, I thought that are you talking UL being sensational? Are you talking about the hurlers? No, it's the footballers tonight. All sorts of tricks there as well from Jack Melvin through, and I was going to say another goal. Can't believe that didn't go in. I was just about to say it, another brilliant goal, and I'm sure Jack Melvin cannot believe it either, because Mike Tansley from Austin Stacks and Kerry has come to the rescue. It was nearly 2 goals in a minute. He definitely no chance with the last one. Oh, he's throwing all sorts of shapes like Muggsy Mulligan at Croke Park for Tyrone, but a brilliant save by the Kerry man.
He did the right thing, went low, Tansley was diving on his feet. What a brilliant save from the Kerry base goalkeeper, DCU goalkeeper. He's kept his side in the game.
When you think about it, so a goal, and then there was that save, and they had another goal chance as well. They had sort of half chance earlier on as well. And DCU haven't had any.
After that start, it's 110 to 1 point since DCU went 4 points to the good. Here's Frank Éireann from the deck now.
Coming out of the north last week after the Ulster University game, I would not have taken any bet that would have suggested that at all. Absolutely no chance, but they might even get another score here. And it's gone too low. Well, actually, he might claim that's a good pass. Everything's working at the minute for UL. As I say, they're on fire, but they're making it happen. And, they're forcing DCU into mistakes as well. I mean, the goal came from a mistake. It was a ball played back. They're definitely rattled, DCU.
Just need to be a bit more patient on the ball. I said that before the goal. I expected DCU to just retain possession. They tried to retain possession, but ended up spraying a wild pass, which ended up in the hands of Keane McHale.
Well, we were talking about, DCU didn't play particularly well in the first half last week. Well, they did not on the scoreboard. I mean, he played well, but they didn't have the scores. They only scored 6 points in the first half, and they're heading for something similar now. They had a great second half last week, so maybe they'll be able to turn it round, but it doesn't always work that way, and UL have been a lot better than Ulster University last week. So good, and very similar jerseys, by the way. And this is McNamara again. He has been absolutely superb. And there's another little dink ball there, and he's given it to Ryan. And this is McNamara again, and that's a poor enough one. It's going to go low. So coming up to half time, well, we've 4 minutes to go to half time. It's DCU, and that is our midfielder, Dara Joyce, going back to get it from the keeper and McEnany. And you almost feel that they're sort of sensing, Craigie, what's happening here? What are we doing? You know, let's get our game going here. And they're just trying to get a few passes going, because they've really been shell-shocked over the last 10 minutes by the quality from UL. And it's not rocket science. It's just been really good defending, keeping their structure, getting the challenges in, and been really good in the transition. And I suppose when you've got good forwards, you've always got a chance. And as you say, Cian McHale has been on fire. Frank Irwin's a great forward as well. A few great players on the wings, Dawson and Ryan. Melvin's out around the middle. And then when you have McNamara steaming through the middle, I mean, it's really worked well for them. And that's another poor one from DCU. And this, I didn't expect this at all.
Just from a DCU perspective, surprised. They were looking like they were patiently building up there, and then Carl Heffernan just decides to take on a shot a little bit off balance. The shots that don't tend to go over the bar, especially in this scenario where the momentum's against you. Sean Morahan.
And it is UL coming again. Morahan, I didn't mention him, a little summary a minute ago, but he got the goal in the league final. That was important. And storming forward there again to get another point. And I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but it's surprisingly easy.
Making it look that way at the moment.
Yeah, they really are.
Momentum in these new rules, Jerome. When momentum is with you, you have to make hay.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It can turn very quickly and kick outs.
And look where Tumulty is. I was talking about the midfielder being back. Tumulty's all the way back and from corner back trying to get the team going. But obviously, you can see there Conal Dawson is following him. And he's still following him there and getting a hand on him as well. Obviously, they learned from watching the DCU game last week. Now, both teams had games that were streamed last week, but they have learned an awful lot. Now, here's it's going to be a goal. Oh, it looked like a bullet of a shot destined for the net, but a great save by the goalkeeper. It's Tristan O'Callaghan from St. Brecons and Clare, and he's hurt himself there. I'm not surprised. Maybe it was just the force of the ball. Let's see it again here. And it's the captain, Lorcan O'Dell. He pulls the trigger here. Boom. Oh, good save, absolutely brilliant save. I think he was going for the near post there, but he did really well, and that's the first goal threat from DCU, but O'Callaghan was up to it.
It's a great save from Tristan O'Callaghan in the UL goal. That's the quality that Lorcan O'Dell has. Sean Morahan up for the score, doesn't get back in time. O'Dell just gets the wrong side of him, and a clear running goal, and unfortunate for the Temple Oak Sing Street man.
Well, that's a warning for UL if they thought they were going easy, as I was saying it, or having it easy. Just over a minute to half time, and the goalkeeper here looking to get 2 points. Is it 2 points? Is it on the...
It's a 45.
Oh, it's a 45, of course.
Yeah.
No, so it's one. Oh, he strikes it really well. Is it on target, though? I think it is.
Indeed.
I think it is, yeah. And now they've got the 6, and that's exactly what they scored last week. 6 points last week in the first half, but they were 6-3 up at half time last week, and this week 1-11 for UL. To be honest, look, I know you're UL, but I mean, we did the game last week and I wasn't that impressed by them against MTU Cork. I mean, they were favourites, and MTU Cork weren't that terrific, you know, especially in the second half. They came into it well, but you know, I wasn't coming away from that thinking it was the same level as DCU. So I'm surprised, but pleasantly surprised. I mean, they've absolutely been brilliant, and maybe their management deserves a lot of credit. Maybe they've done a lot of homework and learned from last week, as I say, following Tumulty. That's a huge effort, but I don't think it's on target, or is it? Looks like
the advantage, the hand was in the air, so I think that's why Dara Swords has gone for the 2-pointer. It wasn't off on distance, but there's a chance now for
keeper's coming up again.
Tansley. Yeah, it's been a dream second part of this first half, certainly for UL. Everything has gone right for them.
Yeah, but if this goes over, that's 2-2-pointers in a couple of minutes. Just shows you how the games can change. You talk about the new rules, and it was a good point you're making. When you get the momentum, could you explain that a wee bit more, what you mean about that, about how the momentum and the new rules they go together?
So much more difficult to get a kick out. Like the short kick out is gone. It has to at least cross the 40-metre arc, which means there's more contest in midfield, and you just know yourself when you're playing a game of football. When you're on top, it seems much easier to win those kick-outs. Getting breaks, you're picking up the breaks the whole time. Sometimes refereeing decisions go for you. So that save of Mike Tansley a couple of minutes ago, just to keep the score down, he's after kicking 145, and a chance for a 2-pointer here now. Wouldn't bet against him kicking it.
And there was a great save by O'Callaghan. You know, they didn't get a goal, but this could be this is more than a two pointers. Obviously, it's better than a goal. Doesn't get there though. Doesn't get there, and that is the half-time whistle. Just 30 seconds extra played, which shows you that it was a really good game. I've got a latest score. Dylan Larkin has fired us in to the live chat on YouTube. There, it's Maynooth 2-11, UCD 2-11 after 45 minutes. So that across the city here. So that sounds like a cracking match there. We've another live stream tomorrow night, by the way, and that's Queens at Abbottstown, and they are up against UCC, so two teams from opposite ends of the country, and that could be a cracker as well. You've got to love the Sigerson Cup, and this first half has really got me going. I have to say, UL have been magnificent.
That second 15 minutes, I said everything went right for them. We saw Brian McNamara's unbelievable finish. We've seen great kicking from Keane McHale. Jack McCabe has shown really well for that direct ball from UL, but DCU will be happy enough just to get that last score of the game, settle themselves down a little bit, and the quality they have on the pitch, they won't be overly worried anyway. They're still 8 points.
8 points down.
It's very little in this competition. I think, as mentioned with the new rules, it's a couple of 2-pointers and you're straight back in it.
It was no coincidence that their purple patch there coincided with Brian McNamara. A couple of brilliant catches in the middle of the field, and then he buried that goal as well. He was terrific.
Those long, as you mentioned, from the kickouts, more long fielding contests. And that's Conal Dawson's 2-pointer we're just looking at there as well.
This
Keane
is
McHale's
McHale's. Is this McHale's? Or is it Irwin's? No, Irwin leaves it off.
Yeah, Keane McHale.
Did an early one identical to this was blocked down, but DC just weren't able to get close that time.
Yeah, he had 4 points in the game. This is Frank Irwin's coming off the shoulder. So DCU
just outside the arc, yeah. Beautifully measured. That's the way to play the arc. Brilliant score over the black spot, yeah. What's this one here now? Are all going down the left? Are these ones?
This is Carl Ryan.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
out with the left.
Yeah, good score, yeah. And the goal must be coming up. Is this the goal? This is the goal, yeah. McNamara. If you haven't seen it already. Ooh.
It's just power beats the goalkeeper there, doesn't it? And here's the great save, because Jack Melvin, unbelievable footwork.
He did try to place it.
Yeah, just guys going beneath hands.
Oh, he was lucky, the keeper, but he made the look for himself. It came off his leg there. He nearly went underneath him, but he did well. And this save at the other end, just a bullet of a shot. Yeah.
And if you're in the DCU dressing room, that's why I'm not overly worried. You've got the quality of Odell, you've got Tumulty there as well. Therefore, it's
8 points.
Yeah.
Still, it's a big lead. It's a big lead that we didn't see coming. I know what you're saying, and if they put in the second half, they did last week. But look, a lot of questions to be answered in the second half. It's an intriguing position to be in, and as I say, TUD are already through. UCD and Maynooth are level. Those two games on, and there's one more in that round tomorrow night, and then the other games as well. We'll tidy that all up for you later. But for now, we're going to take a wee bit of a break.
Very welcome back to the second half here at St. Clair's in the Sigerson Cup round 2A. Jerome has just put the GoPro up on the net. He's on his way back if he's a bit out of breath. By the time he gets back on the mic, you'll know what he's doing. So referee not happy with the original ball sent in. Here's Jerome now. I'm about ready to get underway for the second half. He's back. He made it.
Are we on?
We're on. Just holding the fort.
You can carry on. I'll get my breath back. Any changes?
Not that I can see so far. We'll have a look. Ball is in.
Go on, I'll do coke on this half. You work away, look. You do commentary, don't you?
Yeah. Doesn't look to be any changes on the UL side of things anyway.
Yeah, I don't see any.
And
I'm fit enough, you're okay.
A
couple of years ago, if I'd done that, I wouldn't have been able to talk for 5 minutes.
He's got the GoPros up.
I was at the gym this morning as well. No bother at all. Right, this is Jack Melvin. He had a really good first half, actually, and this is...
As has Castle Brosnan, yeah.
Yeah, the Kerry man there wearing 29. He started the game, if you're just joining us. That's Tommy Walsh, Cork man. Is he one of the Walshes from Canturk? I mean, there's a lot of them.
You would assume, wouldn't you, with the name of the Walsh from Canturk?
Well, you know, last week the two hurling captains in the Fitzgibbon game, but I was reading up, there was 5 of them. There's 5 brothers and 2 cousins. They play for Canturk. They're all Walshes, so it must be one of them.
Is it a great
good
first
breeding.
half?
Yeah, absolutely. And Melvin again. Yeah, I'm beginning to realise how important he is to their team.
He is, absolutely. He can play so versatile, like named the corner forward, can operate in there. Was unlucky not to get a goal in that first half. And then midfield is probably where he'd be more known.
Yeah, he really was unlucky in the first half. And that second goal, I mean, that would have opened up the gap even more, you know. So it was crucial. And here, I was talking to the goalkeeper there, Tristan O'Callaghan. I said, what'd you save that with before half time? He says he saved it with his hands, but I says, well, you went down holding your leg, and he says, yeah, he's got a few sort of hip injuries around there, said that maybe it made it a little bit difficult. Sorry, I'm trying to get my breath, I'm trying to get my words in order here. That is Tumulty, and that looks inside the post. No, it's not, it's on to the left. It's one of those ones that's quite hard to read when you're down at ground level here, but I thought that was over, but it hasn't, and it's not the first goal of the second half. 2 minutes in, Tumulty on fire last week, and you'd have put money on them there. They worked that really well. Now,
that's what the score you'd expect. DCU to try and build that bit more patience, not snatching at things, get themselves back into the game.
Yeah, 8 points in it, and I know you're saying it's not an awful lot, but I still think it's a very significant lead for UL to have here. But it'll be interesting tactically. Another brilliant catch in the middle of the field. How many times have they done that in this game? McNamara, absolutely outstanding leadership, and you can see why he's captain. Might even get a goal at the end of it. That's beautifully laid off as well by Charlie King. Blasted. Oh, they haven't even got a point out of it. Haven't even got a point. Let's have a look at it here. Look and see a bit closer what happened. You were sure that was going to go in. That was Tommy Walsh, actually. I thought it was King up there. It wasn't. And from close range, he just tried to adjust his feet in there and just put it away.
He had such composure. I thought he'd taken the right move by stepping inside, giving himself a bit more option, then just swiped across the ball and didn't even get a score at the end of it. Massive let off for DCU.
It is. I just hope from UL's point of view that you're not saying at the end of the game we could have went 11 up. But DCU, if they needed another warning sign, there it is. Dara Joyce for them. I'm sure there's people, not just me, who came away last week thinking, well, DCU next week, no one's going to stop them. But they are having real trouble here, nearly 11 points down, but now they might get it back to 5. Great save by the goalkeeper now. I think it might have been straight at him, but he still has to save it, and that looked like a goal at the other end. What a terrific game we're having here. We talked about the new rules, and he's in again, and so Dell, another terrific save. Tristan O'Callaghan, wow, that's 3 saves he's made now, and there's a relatively easy one there. He deserved that one. Absolutely brilliant from the goalkeeper there. Well, he said he's got a few hip problems. I'd say a lot of goalkeepers would want hip problems if they're able to make saves like that still. That's absolutely brilliant, and he's keeping them out single-handed there. 2
chances for Lorcan O'Dell, exactly the right man you'd want on it from a DCU perspective, himself and Greg McEnany linking up, but brilliant save. Stood up really tall for the first one, and then low effort, just got his leg to it. Unbelievable save.
You take the save before half-time as well. I mean, yes, I'm saying UL could have been 11 up, but also DCU could have had 2 or 3 goals themselves only for the goalkeeper. Well, it's been an outstanding first 4 minutes of the second half. But when you think about the whole game, I mean, last week, as I say, Ulster University against DCU, first half was 0-6, 0-3. not much to shout about, to be honest. And the first half in the UL-MTU Cork game, not much to remember either. But so far in the first 35 minutes of this game, we have had goals, saves, all sorts of great play, dramatic goals, great points, good defending. It's been magnificent stuff. And, a lot of credit to UL for coming up here in the DCU's backyard and putting in a performance like that and putting in hits like that as well. Now he's giving away a free there, and he's been called back by the referee as well. I think he thought about that for a second, and now he's going to bring him in. And I'm trying to see who it was. It's Brian Mack. It is Brian Mack, yeah.
Just trying to line up a man with the shoulder and didn't get it right, so you're going to have to. Well, I think has he escaped the card there?
I don't think so. I think he was just going over to see something there, but let's watch it again. Yeah, bang. No, that was a bit dangerous.
Dangerous tackle.
Yeah, has to be. Yeah, absolutely. Felt that one, but the man was off the ground, wasn't he? Now trying to check elsewhere for you. See if I can. Well, we've already told you one result tonight. See if I can get the other one for you. Well, yeah, Maynooth were winning 2-8 to 2-6 at half time against UCD. Then we told you it was 2-11 to 2-11 halfway through the second half in that other game. And these the round A games, the winners from last week, by the way. So TUD already through to the quarterfinals. They're the first team through. And I'm waiting for the page to refresh to let you know the UCD Maynooth latest or full time. And then this game here. And then there's one more tomorrow, isn't there?
We have your game.
Oh, you have our game. Yeah, I was reading the notes and going, where is it? Oh, yeah, the game we're doing. Yeah, Queens against UCC in the last of those. And then there's the round 2B games, which is basically all the losers from the first round. All of those games. And that's the likes of St Mary's against ATU Galway. That's at 6:15. University of Galway against ATU Sligo. Connacht Derby at 8 o'clock. MTU Cork against Ulster University. That was actually in UCD in Belfield at 6:15. And this one comes out to Morahan. Got a point in the first half. This is Carl Ryan. And UL haven't scored in the second half. Is that the first? Yes, it's a good one. It's a good score, absolutely brilliant. Just as I was saying, they haven't scored. And it's Dawson again. And I think he's marking duties on the Speedy Tumulty, but when he's not marking him, he's contributing richly as well to this game. Now that one slipped all the way through. DCU might get there by sheer numbers, and they do. They get possession, but we're now 7 minutes into the second half, and they've had a couple of goal chances, and they're knocking on the door, but they're by no means dominating. UL holding their own. Now he wants to come inside here, doesn't he? No, he's going on the other side, but good defending. Very good defending, keeping him out. And they go back to Conor Dolan. And Conor comes all the way back out. They just sort of have been a little bit perplexed here, almost, it seems, from a distance. That's Ethan Dunn. And we haven't seen much of Ethan Dunn, but that is an absolute huge effort. And that is a two-pointer. And he was well outside the arc, and he put it incredibly high in the air. Look how far he is out. And he just goes, I'm going to go for this. And they needed that. And they needed a bit of leadership from him, because they say he's been quite quiet.
I haven't seen a huge momentum from a man who's so influential in the same in last season's competition. Was operating a little bit inside at the start of the game, but that's you need to see more of him and more interventions like that to get back in the game.
Well, you've got to give tribute to Brian McNamara when you talk about that as well. He's been so good in the middle there, and they're both brilliant midfielders and fielders. Now DCU coming again, and there is Ethan Dunn going and looking for it again and saying, right, let's get going here, but that's a poor ball inside. And as I say, they just don't seem to have the same creativity, or maybe just the freedom when they went forward in the game last week against Ulster University. But UL again, look at the way they're knitting together coming out of defence here. Really impressive. Yeah, really good football.
Some very loose pass though from DCU in that instance. Just a little bit of patience required, I think.
Yeah. Well, they're coming back now and doing really well now. 8.5 minutes into the second half. UL. It would be a really impressive victory for them if they could see this out. Long way to go here, but it's at McCabe, is it?
Melvin.
McCabe. It's Melvin. It is Melvin, yeah. I see the running style now on the 13 as well, and that's Frank Irwin. And is it on? It's on target again. That's two terrific scores in the second half. They're leading in the second half now as well, and maybe there's a 2-pointer there actually. It's 8 points in it now. So it's about level in the second half. But a great score. And 2 scores from almost the same place.
That's an unbelievable score from Frank Éireann with the post there. Didn't have to look at them. The posts don't move. There's a change for DCU there.
Yeah, Conor Dolan's come off for them.
And Luke Marin.
22, Luke Marin, who scored 1-2 last week. I'm still trying to find this Maynooth one, and I don't know why, but my page doesn't seem to be refreshing there. The Maynooth page, they were doing updates. Anyway, back to this game now. We will pick that up as we go along, as we can. And that one breaks for UL. They've got it again, and it's Jack McCabe feeding it inside. This is brilliant play. Have they got the finish though? He's off balance.
He does.
That is brilliant. That is superb. They're great finishers, UL. Really, this is the same way they played last week in the second half down at MTU Cork. Really well worked. Won it from the kick out, and that was Frank Irwin playing it in. And who was that from?
It was Keane McHale.
Keane McHale,
Point number 5 for him. 4 from play. He got a bit of a whack there, and he's down.
UCD have beaten Maynooth. Defeat in Belfield after a brilliant battle, says Maynooth. So doesn't have, well, hold on, there's a picture here which will have the result, but UCD have come through that one. So it is 2 Dublin wins tonight. TUD on the north side, UCD on the south side are through, and DCU here on the north side as well, but they have a lot of work to do. They were 8 down at half time, now they're 9 down. And it's DCU trying to get going, and we thought Ethan Dunn's magic epic point from distance, a monster point. Here he is again, bursting inside the arc now, trying to get going again, but there's no way through. UCD 3-16, Maynooth 2-14. 5-point win, so UCD must have finished really strongly there. I know there's some great players there, and Quigley started tonight for them. So good result for UCD, but Maynooth really put it up to them as well. So round 3 is going to be interesting. Going to be a lot of good teams in there as well. And that's a decent effort from Jack Tumulty. Oh, it's gone right. That's gone wide. I heard the applause, but then I realised now it was the UL bench.
Yeah.
It was the UL bench. They were delighted with it.
It was really disciplined defending. Lorcan O'Dell jinked inside. A couple of men. UL defenders stayed disciplined and then got a body out to Tumulty and forced the shot wide.
Yeah, 3 Dublin wins, not just 2 in the Trench Cup. Trinity won tonight as well. They beat Mary I 220 to 210. So a good night for Dublin so far. Oh, great bit of fielding, McNamara again, and there was nobody near him that time. And he puts it in there very quickly. And can they punish DCU? That's McHale again, and he feeds it. They always seem to have a runner. It's a 1-on-1.
What a save.
Oh, how many brilliant saves have we seen tonight? That's Mike Tansley, and he looks out to say, guys, come on, I can't keep doing this all night. 12 minutes into the second, we could have had DCU haven't had a goal, but we could have had about 6 goals in this game the way it's been going. And it was a sub Brosnan, and he goes, how did I not score there? Now, he made it was a Kerry man against a Kerry man there, wasn't it? But he put it at an easy height, I'm going to say. I mean, if he had it drilled it low.
It was a good height for a goalkeeper, it was that, but still an unbelievable save from Tansley. I think Carl just expected to see the net ripple. Really direct football from UL, went from the kick out, mark, straight in. That's the new rules in action.
And like I said earlier on with the save in the first half, it sort of hit him, but the keepers will say, well, you put yourself there to deflect it, and he did really well again. And is it maybe too far to say he's keeping them in the game?
I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, in the first 5 minutes you could say that the goalkeeper for UL kept his team in the lead and kept them at bay, kept DCU at bay. So the goalkeepers have been crucial tonight. Between the two of them, they've made about 6-7 saves, really good saves as well. That's Conor Heffernan for DCU, giving it back out, and the referee does now give the free. He says, I had to give that, and he does. But UL's defence has been so strong in there, and at the other end UL are just cutting through. Maybe it's obviously a different system up there, and they're doing it largely in the transition, but UL did not look like they can be penetrated easily. Okay, they had 2 goal chances in a couple of minutes, but apart from that, there's nearly a quarter of the game to go, and you're thinking, are they going to get chances? They're not going to have many, and that has gone well wide as well, and that kind of sums up DCU's night so far, and that's why they're making another change. 27 is on for them now, and 27 is Senan Carr. Donegal man coming on to see what he can do about it, but it's a big ask, big ask, because
Joyce is going after it.
UL playing really well. Oh, That's a bit of a surprise, is it not?
Yeah, it's a bit of a reshuffle anyway. Shannon Baker's come out.
Mind you, he deserves a rest. He put in an awful lot of work, especially in the first half. There's 2 more coming in for UL.
Yeah.
And 12 is going off. Do you know what's probably a good idea? Fresh legs going into the last quarter of the game, you know.
McCabe and Cathal Ryan.
Right, so they're going off.
And Cathal Keaveney, I think it's Dahi Hogan. It is Dahi Hogan, so 26 and 27.
Yeah, Dahi Hogan came on last week as well from Tip, and Cathal Keaveney from Mayo, 27. They both came on last week, as did Cal Corliss and Dermot Coggins, 2 more Mayo men. So we'll wait to see what happens with them. There's a clean catch and a mark for DCU, throwing straight in there, looking for their number 27. Sen and Carr, the 2 27s are out there. That's a DCU decision, and it's been brought right in. Bit of back chat there, and UL are going to be punished for that.
Yeah, just exactly what DCU needed for themselves. The score from the angle saw Collie Baskel missing one from there in the club. It's not an easy free, whereas now right in front of the goalpost, and it should be a tap over. Be good for Shannon Baker as well after that last free.
And it gets it back to 8 points, exactly where we were at half time. And from a UL point of view, if I told you at half time you'd still be leading with 8 halfway through the half, you'd take that. But now it's all about the last quarter. So Tansley, the call from the sideline for DCU is, come on boys, lift it. But there was no real conviction in that, I have to say. It's like, you know, they're still a bit surprised here, and you need to sort of work this out, and I'm not sure they can. And UL have got it again, and on the break there it was Conal Dawson, who's had a terrific game. And look at the runners once again, and it's McNamara. Now he's run into trouble there, but he still managed to get it soccer style, and eventually a little bit scrappy in there, but they get the numbers forward. They really do, UL. But now it's DCU with a chance to hit them on the break, and that's what they're trying to do. That's a great ball actually down into the left hand side of the field there to Tumulty to see if he can use his speed. He loves to jink one way and then the other. On this occasion he leaves it off. Now there's a runner in behind, and that's Luke Marin, but they're forced to come all the way back out. This is Senan Baker sending it out to Ethan Dunn on this side. He's going to go for it. He is. But has he got it? Not sure. No, it's wide. It's wide. It's gone to the left and wide. And DCU not getting going at all tonight here. And there's a few glimpses now and again that they're maybe going to stage a comeback, but no real, to use your word from earlier, momentum.
Yeah, well, good and spread out here now, so they're going to try and work a short kick out.
This is all tactical. I mean, they're doing this, it's width, isn't it? Stretch them out and confuse them and get the players coming in from the sides, all that kind of thing, and they've won it from the kick out.
The same target all the time.
They're a well-drilled team.
Brian McNamara is still the target from all these kick-outs, and he's so assured under the high ball. Yeah,
they've been magnificently managed, it has to be said. As we were saying earlier, they've won every game all through the league and won the league for the first time, and now they're on the verge, I think it's fair to say, with this lead in the last quarter of a place in the quarterfinals and upsetting the champions. You can't understate what that is about and what that means, and the credit to UL. But they've given that one away cheaply, and DCU have a chance to get up the field. They are still the champions, and they are still dangerous. This is O'Dell, and he's looking for the runners. He spots 2 runners over this side. One of them is Owen Ward, and off goes Owen Ward, followed by O'Driscoll. And O'Driscoll doesn't dive in there. That's really good defending. But they've still got a chance of a score here, but they don't get it. It spills, and it's just drilled away by O'Driscoll there, and that kind of sums up their night as well. And this is a chance now for Melvin in the middle of the field just to calm it all down and pop in the right ball, the correct ball, and he gives it to Keaveney for UL. They really have played well tonight, and they're still playing well. And to use a phrase, they've kind of got DCU's number at the minute, and DCU, even when they get through up there, they couldn't knit it together. And is that Dawson?
Sean Morahan,
it's Morahan, and it's another brilliant point. And that was a superb move all the way up the field. And with 12 minutes to go, they are still on top in this game, and that was terrific football. Subs on both sides coming on now. 17 for DCU, and on the far side, 14's gone off. McHale's gone off. Cian McHale replaced by 32 for UL.
It's Kieran Collins. More.
It is. And 5 is off for DCU. That's Owen Ward. So 17 went on. Did you get a number for him? No, or a name for him?
17 is Dan O'Leary from Sylvester's.
That's it. Yeah. Good man.
But Collins has managed such experience with Rathmore and Bob Kerry senior panels as well. He's a great man to come off the bench because Keane McCabe has kicked 5 points this evening.
Yeah,
he can be happy with his night's work.
They've some excellent players, haven't they? And at times tonight they've really stepped up with terrific moments of high quality. McHale being one of them, McNamara being another. You know, when you have players like that who can do special things, Frank Irwin, Jack Melvin, you know, those sort of players, and take good scores from distance. And they've done that. But here's a chance now for the man who's just come on the field. And it's quiet here. You don't even hear the DCU crowd being that vocal, really. They're, I think, a little bit shocked, would be fair to say, with the way the game has gone. And if we take away or do that thing where I was saying with the 4-point thing, hold on, this is going, no, it's gone right and left, or it's gone right and wide. And, you know, they put a few bad wides over there. They just seem to have lost something here tonight. You know, UL have really sort of shocked them. So 10 minutes to go. But yeah, so the 4 points up. If we go back to that, yes, okay, DCU still scored the 4 points, but after 5-6 minutes there were 4 points to 0. So since then it's 115 to 5 points. A lot of goals on either side though. Goal chances on either side, sorry, not a lot of goals. One goal, could have had about 6.
What a sloppy pass. That's kind of how the second half has gone for DCU. They're trying to get back into this game desperately, but been a bit loose in that final third.
Yeah, this is Melvin again. He does so much good work around the middle, doesn't he? Wears 13, but plays out and around there, and he's been involved so much in the game and always seems to do the right thing. UL taking it to DCU again. They're not resting on their laurels now. They've got a free there. It's going to come back for that. They're still going at DCU and causing them so many problems.
Yeah, Kieran Collins is now led up for the DCU defence. The 2 subs coming off the pitch. Dougie Hogan's had an excellent underage Tipperary campaign involved with the senior team this year, and Collins had such a good career, club career with Rathmore, and on the fringes of the Kerry panel this year. 2 million subs come on. So
and Keaveney as well.
And Keaveney had his booming effort last week in MTU Cork.
Yeah. So were you surprised, pleasantly surprised, not surprised at all from a UL point of view of what you've seen tonight?
Pleasantly surprised, I think you'd have to say. Jerome was
That's a monster effort. That's not going over, is it?
Just to the right and wide. Umpire's heading to make that.
You're right. Yeah, so pleasantly
surprised. Obviously, with the league campaign, you will be coming up here hopeful, but you're coming up to the defending champion. You said that before the game. We weren't being coy.
29 being warmed up for DCU, and I use the word.
Yeah, Dylan Kettle.
Words warmed up advisedly because I'm freezing.
Yeah, Dylan Kettle has last couple of minutes now. He had a viral moment there with his dummy in the Oborn Cup during the week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they did put the kettle on. Yeah,
that was him.
Oh, great ball in, great ball. And can he get a score out of it though? Oh, a little jink inside as well, and another little jink onto his left. Oh, that was great finish, great football, and that's exactly what they need. Really good score. Again, it was a good ball in. 1 dummy, 2 dummies, little solo, and over with the left. Nice score.
One full off both sides. He's failed to shoot a couple of times on the right foot, and he's equally as good on the left foot, Senan Carr. So need a little more of that. It's Lorcan O'Dell is coming off. So
yeah.
Sean Morahan once more has outscored his man from centre back.
Yeah, that's a good point. That matchup, you know, Sean Morahan against O'Dell. Now O'Dell did feature prominently in the first half, and we give him player of the match last week, but tonight he's coming off, and you know, so you could say Morahan has maybe won that matchup. But look at that. Look at the way he won that ball. That was fantastic. And then coming up as well was Tommy Walsh, the Kanturk man, to get it forward. And now Charlie King, the Tipperary man, is all the way through there, and he's going to put it over. Well, that score sums up the performance we have seen tonight. The desire to win that ball in the middle of the field. He ripped it away from DCU. And then to have the composure, the men supporting, and the fabulous finish as well. That really tells you all you want to know with 7 minutes to go about this UL team.
Dawson has it again. Intercepted.
That looks like it's over too. And it is. Well, they're now absolutely taking them apart. I was trying to hold back on my language earlier in describing what they've been doing here, but they really have taken the champions apart. We're now double scores, 20-10.
That's unbelievable from Conal Dawson. Made the first score with his initial tackle in midfield, and then another interception.
they've had a lot of contenders for a player of the match. Actually, I'll come to that in a second here, because they might even get another score. They've won a lot of the kickouts as well, and they've punished them when they've got those kickouts as well. DCU haven't been able to do anything about it. I don't think I've ever seen a Sigerson Cup defending team come out and put in such a magnificent performance in the first game, and then the second game get taken apart like this. I'm kind of stunned, to be honest. You know, you sort of think, okay, they won the league before Christmas, and everybody goes, the league, you know. But tonight they have really stepped up. I said it was a big test for them of their credentials. Well, boy, have they answered that question here tonight. This is Charlie King again, and he's taking the ball to them, and he's running at them, and they're winning a lot of the 50-50s, and even when the ball spills, they're winning it, and they've got men supporting. They have been terrific tonight, there's no doubt about it. And I mentioned player of the match. I'll come to that in a second. Look, because we're not over yet, and here's a chance for DCU on the break with Heffernan. But look at the way he's been tracked, and look at the way they're disciplined as well. They're not diving in. I've noticed that a few times as well. And always someone there to challenge, and Ethan Dunn's obviously been given a lot of attention as well. We were saying he wasn't quite having the same influence tonight, but that's largely because it's just the way that he is being played tonight. Now that's a quick one, and he just threw that. You can't do that. But yeah, player of the match, I mean, you mentioned Dawson. I mean, he's not necessarily the most spectacular player like Brian McNamara belting the goal in, but he's been really, really good for them tonight, and Cian McHale was good for me. But I'm looking at sort of unsung heroes, and the likes of Melvin and Dawson, the 10 and the 13 there, would be as big a contender as anybody.
There's been such a strong team performance from the backs. Wouldn't be anyway outstanding as Tommy Walsh goes off the park. They've also defended exceptionally well so far. So
well, you say defending Tommy Walsh, he was half the time up in the forwards, and very effective too. Is that inside the post?
It is 2-pointer.
It is, yeah, 2-pointer. Gets it back to 8. Sorry, going ahead, Tommy Walsh. Yeah.
I just said the backs for UL have been excellent, but I'd be inclined to go with Jack Melvin or Brian McNamara. I think those two have been so good around the middle of the park. Boyne is the target for all of UL's kickouts.
I'm going to throw in Charlie King as well and Sean Moran. You could go through them all, I suppose. But if you had to pick one, Brian Mac?
I think Brian McNamara.
Yeah, fair enough. He got that brilliant goal and some of those catches as well. It's sort of, that was a kind of statement time in the game, if you could put it. You know, he sort of stood up and really, literally stood up and says, you know, we're going to go at you, and we've got quality here, you know. And then the goal. So, yeah, Brian Mac, fair enough. But a lot of very good assists. Now he's trying to dance around the arc. They are outside the arc. They've got it outside the arc, but it hasn't got the distance. 1:17 to 12, 3 minutes to go. And there is Dawson again. And always the runner. And they always don't hang about. They transfer the ball quickly. And look how quickly the ball now ends up on the other end of the field. And it's a good pass in as well. And another good pass in, getting out in front. They really are buzzing here. And the support play comes as well. And they get a free in.
Free just gives UL a bit of time.
Exactly.
Runs down that clock as well and breaks any momentum that DCU had.
But you notice there the way they were all getting out in front all the time. I don't know, that's just maybe a team here confident in the last 5 minutes.
I was
they're playing really well, but still, you know, they're running, they're on their toes, they're being clever, they're getting the ball in, they're trusting each other.
Oh, it's incredible energy to have at this time of the game, but it is a bit easier to do that when you're 8 points up. Let's take Canton away. Here's Collins.
So let it not be said anymore, it's only the league. Because it obviously wasn't a fluke, UL winning the league for the very first time. 6 Mayo starters on the team, and I think it brought on another 1 or 2 as well.
Here's Killian Campbell.
Killian Campbell coming on for
Paddy O'Driscoll.
UL for Paddy O'Driscoll, yeah. Louise Hennigan has messaged superb performance, she says, from UL, especially after a slow start. Player of the match for me, Cian McHale, Frank Irwin or Conal Dawson. Thanks for that, for your contribution there. Interesting. As I say, you could name any of about 6 or 7, but I'm going to agree with you. Look, I'm sorry, Louise, but I'm going to go with you. You know, Brian Mack for those catches, the leadership, the goal, you know, that sort of really said to DCU, we're here to take over. We're not just a flash in the pan. We're not a league champion team only, and now they're going to remain unbeaten and go into the quarterfinals. Team and a college that has never won the Sigerson. Is that Ethan Dunn in there? It is.
Yeah.
So try to throw in a few balls to him, but still not working late in the game. It's UL who have their number. 21-12, a 9-point win. Or 9-point lead that's close to being a win. We're in the last minute.
Yeah.
And you know what? The game is just petering out here. We're at the game here, and there isn't much noise, even from the DCU sideline. You know, they've given this up. They know they're not going to even get close to this team. And UL have come out in the second half with an 8-point lead, and they've actually stretched it. And you know, there was goal chances at either end, but they have just kept playing their game, and they've been totally deserving. Very, very impressive team. Up ahead, there are 2 men in there. One of them, Ethan Dunn. They're going, put it in, and here it comes. It's coming in now from Conor Heffernan. But UL get men in and around, and they win it.
Back there.
And you know, they haven't conceded a goal. Yeah, they needed a few good saves. Conceded 12 points. A couple of those were 2-pointers, and their defence has been really, really solid. It's Charlie King. He loves to get forward. But a lot of players, you just get up and down a lot, and you know, the game's got that sort of decided feel about it. You know, it's not as if we're looking at a dramatic finish here at all. We only had 30 minutes and 35 seconds in the first half. We'll have a couple of minutes here, I'm sure, for all the subs. But Tumulty here, looking to try and get it out. He does to Luke Marin, and there's Desire right at the end of this game. So 2 Dublin teams through. UCD tonight after beating Maynooth with a good finish to the game for them, and TUD. But DCU are not going to be in the quarterfinals just yet. It's going to be UL, and then the winner of tomorrow's game, which we're going to be live streaming as well. That's Queens against UCC. Bit of a messy 30 seconds here.
Yeah, Hogan just came across the halfway line to collect that one. That was the breach there.
Ah, there's a breach. Yeah, okay.
But it's a free from the halfway line. It's not deemed to be deliberate.
Yes. Yeah, there was a funny one last week in one of the games we did, and the ball came to him and he couldn't help himself. You know, it's
your
just
natural instinct is to go,
to go and get the ball. Yeah. So DCU trying to get through at the end. Can they get any joy at the end? Can they get a goal? He has to go for goal, and he puts it across, but it's easily defended in there. And UL are going to hold out here for a big, big victory. That might even be, no, it's not full time. Whistle went, but not full time. Maybe another 30 seconds or so. We didn't have any big stoppages. Oh, nice ball through the middle. And again, it's DCU chasing UL, as they have done for most of this game after the first 5 minutes or so. They're streaming back, and they just have not been able to deal with it. This has been a sensational performance by the University of Limerick in the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup Round 2A. After DCU's big performance last week, they're holders of the Sigerson. They have been well and truly dismantled here tonight, and well beaten by UL 21-12. And the second half, I'm trying to work out, it was 111-5 at half time,
11-6.
111-6. So they've kept DCU to 6 points in each half. This is Heffernan. Well blocked down, and there's Dawson again. I think he's trying to say to you, can I still get another shout at that Player of the Match award? Well, he was brilliant right to the end, and that sums up the performance by them tonight, UL. And the game ends more in a whimper than anything else, and that's because UL have come here and they have silenced the home crowd here at DCU. They've come to the backyard of the champions, and they have totally merited a victory here in the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup. And this is one of those results, I'd say, that is going to raise a lot of eyebrows, and one of the most eye-catching results over the last number of years from any team in the competition. This is UL. Remember the context of it. They never won the league until 2 months ago. They'd never won the Sigerson either. And they've come here and beat a team like DCU, who won last week so impressively.
That's an incredible performance from UL. Everything went right for them this evening. Couple of unbelievable saves from Tristan O'Callaghan, but they could have had a number of goals themselves. I think that Ava Power will be absolutely thrilled with his performance, coming to the home of the defending champions and winning as well as they did there with a 9-point margin and finishing so strongly. They'll be really looking forward to the quarter final now.
Absolutely. They're in the quarterfinals. So are TUD, who beat MTU Kerry tonight. So are UCD, who beat Maynooth tonight. And then the last game is tomorrow night. That's Queen's against UCC to see the fourth team that goes into the quarterfinals. And then you have another round of games next week to decide who gets in. And that's all down to the games tomorrow night. St Mary's are playing ATU Galway. University of Galway are playing ATU Sligo. MTU Cork are playing Ulster University. And there was one other one as well that I've forgotten just for the minute. But yeah, so that'll all be sorted out. The draw will be made next week after those games for the quarterfinals, but 3 teams are already in there after these games tonight as we look at the highlights from the second half. But it's not the team that certainly I was expecting to come through at UL, and not only have they come through, they have come through with a really, really impressive performance in the game. And as we look at
Frank
that
Irwin.
point going over from Frank Irwin, one of the stars tonight, well, they were all stars tonight. But really, I've sent shockwaves right across to Sigerson. Yes, they won at MTU Cork last week, but winning here tonight at DCU, that is a significant result indeed. Teams do not usually do that at all, and there's a goal chance. They could have easily had another one there, but a brilliant save by the goalkeeper Mike Tansley, and that tells you something as well. Both goalkeepers were terrific. That's Sen and Carr going through for a late point, and then a 2-pointer as well. It's really chilly here, and both teams are in huddles. So as we watch these, I'm going to wrap it up there. We are going to wrap it up. Well done to UL. They are the winners tonight. We will be back with, as I say, another live stream tomorrow night.